Welcome to Noob Leading the Noob. I'm WB, and I've been playing kendama for a little while. I'm not that good, but I do recall struggling with some of the most sought-after beginner tricks out there. I still recall the things that helped me unlock them, and hopefully I can help shorten your struggles. My goal here isn't to be the most comprehensive, but rather to provide some shortcuts to help get you where you want to be just a little faster. Thanks for stopping by. Now let's get to the grind.
This is going to be an odd one to circle around to because I just recently talked about one-turn lighthouses, pulling up to lighthouse. If you haven't watched that, I go over a couple of the same concepts in this video, but let's just double back around to just the regular spike. When a lot of people start out, when you're teaching somebody to do their first spike, you tell them just to spin the tama around and basically pull up with their knees to spike. The same thing applies to basically to your spike without the spin. What I like to do, much like pulling up to lighthouse, is use that string. Use that string as the axis upon which you're pulling up. Think of pulling up directly. If I could, make an arrowhead on that string, that's how you're pulling up to get that spike. If you're teaching somebody new how to do it, that's one of the best ways I found to teach somebody is to. You can say pull up with your knees, but they'll sometimes pull. They'll do weird things with their arms. But if you try to teach them to focus on that axis, that string, it's a really good guide of where you're pulling. And if you can try to keep focused on pulling up, in that arrow right along that string, you'll have really good success. And really good success teaching somebody, in my experience. And as far as swing spikes go, much like the one-turn lighthouse, if you're trying to go at a big arc like this, you're going to have a lot of problems. Swing spikes were the bane of my existence for the longest freaking time. But much like your one-turn lighthouses or your pull-up lunars, the elliptical flight path, the dropping down and popping it up, it really helped me with my swing spikes to think about dropping it down and popping it up. It gives it a lot of hang time, fairly consistent. If you've seen swing spike tutorials, you're basically giving it a gentle tug toward yourself at the bottom. If you can kind of drop down with it, you can really get it fairly consistent by just a nice little pop at the bottom, and then that thing will come right up and hang right in the air for the big old spike. So hopefully something in there helps you. That's a real basic one, but I wanted to have a word about that because, especially if you're going to teach somebody new and try to spread kendama around, one of the best things to teach somebody is if they're just pulling straight up, think about pulling up along the axis of that string, and that's your arrow, that's your direction you're pulling, and you get a really good consistent, nice straight even pull, boom to spike. It'll feel good for you, it'll feel good for them. Awesome. Have a good day.